Well, okay. Now that you've learned how to create new documents or create new projects, let's learn how to place images on these documents. Could be images, could be documents that you're using from certain existing certain existing elements or certain existing files on your system already or from the internet. But this is going to be useful for the next set of things that we're going to be using to learn Photoshop. So let's do this. Let me create a new document. Let's say placing images. And let me bring up a large size setup over here. Then create, and it brings up this new document. So there is the easy version of bringing images into Photoshop. Let's do that from File. There are two options that says place embedded and place linked. When I click on embedded, it basically brings in one image from the document or from my computer over here. But this has been created as a smart image. That basically means that I can do edits on this photo without harming or removing or destructing the image contents itself. Similarly, there is something called place linked, which allows me to link an image or a document from an existing format. And if I change that image over here, which is linked from the original source, and if I update that file, it will start reflecting in my document as well because it is linked together. So this is one very easy way of bringing in images from the outside. Very similarly, I can also bring in images directly by opening the Explorer and dragging images from the Explorer onto my Photoshop document. That is another way. And when I do this, it places an embedded version. That basically means it is not connected with the outside image anymore, but it's still a smart image, on which I can create or work without destroying the layers pixels itself. Now let me bring back the parrot. I think I like that parrot over there. And if I bring it over here, place it on top of this, to place it somewhere in the center. There's one thing to do note over here. When I'm bringing this image, I can also see in the options bar certain elements, certain things. The first that is basically the X and Y. These are the coordinates of the image anchor point that sets it in the center of the screen in this scenario, which is 960 pixels by 540 pixels. The width and the height is also visible over here. The small chain icon allows me to constrain or to maintain the aspect ratio. If I increase the width or the height, I'll be able to zoom in or zoom out. The actual photo is of 100%. That basically means the 100% scale. I will still be able to see the image without losing out on the quality or on the pixels of the image. If I go any higher than that, it will slowly start losing out on the details of these pixels. Let's stick back to 100 over here. And when I click on that, when I enter with that and I click the enter tick mark over here, it allows me to place this image, which is now here. And this is without any loss in terms of the pixels. However, when I did not do the same thing with the dog, when I brought in the dog, I have placed that image without any scaling up or changing the resolution when I was bringing the image in. If I do scale up this image right now, it will end up not losing any pixels because you can still see, because this is a smart object, I can still see the ratios which are maintained over here, and I can still zoom it without losing quality or losing out detailing of the image in this layer. So that's something to keep note of. When you're bringing an image, you can make sure that this is happening. Now, unless I was doing this with a rasterized image or after the image has been rasterized. As I said, once you rasterize the image, it basically takes in the pixels and makes sure it is not on a smart mode anymore. That basically means I will be able to And now I'm playing around with the pixels that are available in that image or on that layer. But now you can see that this image is at 100% of its dimensions. That basically means zooming in from here, I will start losing out on pixels and quality of the image. You can probably see the kind of detailing of the image has been lost over here. That's also because I've zoomed in to quite some extent, but basically the image has started losing out on quality, and that's something that's not visible to the naked eye, but the tool understands it very specifically when it comes to working on these sort of images. Now, because this was an image, I was able to we are not able to very easily demarcate, but this is going to be very visible in very simple silhouettes uh, and gradients that we are going to be using in the future. So make sure when you're placing images on your document, use them according to the size that's going to be useful for the length or for the entire course of that project. And that's basically how we can place images on screen or in your canvas. Now, the third way of bringing in images onto your project file is also to bring in, you can also bring in the projects from Photoshop or from Illustrator or a couple of other photo editing tools. Now, when I do bring that, you can see that this project, this file that has also been brought in is an embedded version. That basically means it's an embedded smart object. If I change the original contents of this layer or of this project file, it will not reflect in this file because it is embedded and not linked. So every time that I do drag certain things from the folder or from my Explorer into my canvas, it will always bring up an embedded version, and that's something that you can always check by the properties panel. Alright, with that you've probably understood how to use or how to bring in images from outside into your document, and let's start using this going forward.